Hello and welcome to Tech Interrupt. Tech Interrupt is a session where we bring in interesting people and with their experience to talk about their experience and the projects that they have worked on. Tech Interrupt discusses about the scope and ideas of technology and the current updates of the industry. Hi, my name is Misam Abbas and I'll be your host for today's session. And we'll be talking about how to start a career as a developer and we'll talk about developing languages and their scope. And we'll also talk about the new PHP release. It's about to release in this year, PHP 8.0, and we'll talk about the best developing techniques used in the industry, and we'll also talk about our speaker's best project. So for that, we have Mr. Subhan Nizar with us, and he is senior software engineer at Cubix. He has 5 years of working experience, and he has worked on different languages and multiple projects. So how are you, Mr. Subhan? Welcome to Tech Interrupt.
Thank you for having me. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, Alhamdulillah. So let's start with the questions.
Yeah, sure.
So first of all, we are like focusing on people who are start planning to start their career as a developer.
Yeah.
So how can a beginner start a career in developing, and what is the scope of this field?
So, first of all, if anyone wants to start a career, uh, irrespective of the domain they want to start their career, but the first thing I think it should be the passion. They should be passionate about whatever they want to do in life, right? The hunger should be there for learning,
Right.
because when we talk about, like, if we talk about sports, all right, so you can excel in sports if you don't have the hunger, or if you don't worship what you work. Okay, you have to worship your work. So that is the only thing I think that will help you excel in your career. Uh, as far as the development is concerned, I think this job is particularly a skill-based job. Okay, you have to study for it. Obviously, you have to do that, but I think you have to polish your skills continuously. You have to learn every day, because in my experience, how I've done working is like I sleep at night. When I wake up, there's a new framework in our industry. We have to work on it as well. So we need to keep ourselves updated. So if you want to start your career in development, you should be the one who is actually flexible and who wants to learn every day.
Right.
All right. So I think that is the main thing, and you have to take small steps, right? Because in the first go, you won't be able to learn it, because programming as such, as a whole, is a dry subject.
Yeah.
Right. Programming is fun if you know what you are doing. Initial stages, it's dry. So you have to be there. You have to continuously upgrade yourself, keep on learning. That is the thing. You have
But you have to be consistent. You
Yeah,
should have
exactly.
an inner passion for your this field, and you should like stay motivated
Yeah,
throughout the
obviously.
day, and you should be ready for these sudden advancements in the industry, because this industry is like it's so dynamic. It changes overnight.
Yeah.
You get a
So
new thing every morning.
obviously,
It's like that.
yeah, exactly. So the main thing I would like to raise a point here, that you have to continuously learn, and one more thing, you have to make sure your core concepts are clear, because that's the first initial step, and that is
the basics.
yeah, the basics, the core. So if the core concepts are clear, then I think you'll be learning every day. But if the concepts are not there, you won't be able to learn and excel. So that is what I think there should be. In my experience, when I started development, I started as a PHP developer.
Okay.
I used to write PHP without any framework.
Okay.
And so at that time, it was like everything was so magical to me, that how if I click on a button, it's doing something. So it was like programming was like a magic to me, because it was the
it's like
computer. Yeah, computer was
teaching the computer to do things on your command.
exactly.
Yeah.
The computer was doing
Really good.
something on my command. So yeah, that is the only thing. If you want to learn programming, if you want to start your career as a programmer, you need to be passionate about it, and the hunger should be there.
Yeah.
Without it, you won't be able to
Absolutely.
excel.
Because programming is a kind of a field where you can do anything you want. It's like completely when you just need to imagine something, and you need to code it, and it will be in front of you.
Exactly.
Okay. Next question is, once the career is started, people start the career easily.
Yeah.
They go to a university, they join a program, or they like learn a course or anything like that. But once they start this career, they lose the track where to grow in, like which language to choose, because this field has so many languages, it's changing overnight. So how to excel in a particular position, where the industry is going, and what an individual needs to focus on, what track should he take?
First of all, if your career has been started, if you are in a middle of your career, I think the major factor in your career for your growth is your mentor. In every career, you need a mentor for sure.
Right.
All right. So you need to select a mentor and you need to do whatever he's saying because the person with experience knows his work. All right. So I think once your career has been started, you have to see what he's doing, what the global trends are. All right. Like for example, there was a time when we used to write PHP code on core PHP without using any frameworks, and we would think that this is it. It won't upgrade. PHP is this, but right now there are so many frameworks.
There are so many frameworks.
Yeah. So now we code on them. So this industry won't stop.
Exactly.
It'll keep on upgrading every day. You have to keep up the pace. All right. So once your career has been started, you have to keep yourself updated. If you are not updated, if you're not keeping yourself updated, I think then you're done. You need to learn every day. You need to cope up with the pace of the industry.
Right.
I think this is the only thing. If you start your career, you have to do this.
Right, right. It means that you need a mentor, you need to be updated, you need to focus on the industry change, what's coming in and what's being obsolete. So you need to be in touch with the upcoming trends.
Exactly.
Yeah. So now, there's a new release of PHP coming in this year, PHP 8.0. So this industry is like updating day by day, overnight. So what do you see that what despite its unattractive attractiveness and despite its unpopularity, how is PHP 8.0 surviving? And if the new system updates, how the businesses who are running on PHP, how will they upgrade their system to the new PHP? Will they face any problems, or is it easy for them, or is it costly?
Okay, let's just talk about the elephant in the room, the PHP, right? It's no secret among web developers and programmers in general that PHP doesn't have the best reputation.
Yeah.
Despite still being one of the most used languages to build web applications over the years, PHP has managed to get itself a reputation of messy code bases.
Yeah.
Right? Inexperienced developers, insecure code, and inconsistent core library. All right.
Yeah.
So while many of the arguments right now, PHP, they stand against PHP, but there is also a bright side. Let me just tell you, because you can write clean and maintainable code in PHP, all right? But it depends on you because it is so weakly type language. It is so dynamic. You can write anything you want. Okay, so it doesn't forces you to write a clean and maintainable code, but if you're a good developer, you can actually because let me just give you an overview because we are right now at 7.4 version of PHP and 8.0 is just around the corner.
Yeah.
All right. So ever since the late 5 point era for PHP, the version 5 era, the core team is constantly trying to improve their core features and everything the PHP has to offer. Right. So PHP is a old language. Like it was developed.
Yeah, it was developed in 1994. I remember that was actually the year of my birth.
Exactly.
So it's that old.
So that old PHP, but the main issue is the type system of PHP. All right, that is dynamically typed language, which has its benefits at that time.
Yeah.
But ever since people started using PHP for larger projects, the shortcomings of type system actually made it clear that we need PHP to be strong typed. All right. So there was a time I remember PHP was used for content management systems like WordPress, uh, 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 other CMS. But right now PHP is being used for larger applications as well.
Okay.
So I think that is why I think more people are converting to PHP for larger projects.
Okay.
But as far as the PHP 8.0 is concerned, like for example in 7.4 we have preloading system. Let me just explain you.
Yeah.
For what preloading system.
Go ahead.
PHP is not like is actually a language which is not uh, compiled. Okay, it is an interpreted language which is
Okay.
close to the CPU. All right. So if you want to do something with your RAM, you can actually do with the preloading system.
Okay.
So now, just right now, we have preloading system in PHP, which will actually compile the code and put it in your RAM, so that you can access the code frequently. The code you're actually using frequently, you can access it through the RAM. So that will be
Perfect.
more faster as compared to the code that is being interpreted. All right.
Okay.
And just right now, the PHP 8.0 is around the corner. It will
Yeah.
be having the JIT.
Mhm.
JIT is just in time. Just in time means like now the compiler will actually know that this piece of code is being used repeatedly. So it will consider it as a hot code piece. All right.
Okay.
Hot code piece. So this will stay alive in the RAM. And now, instead of compiling it every time, it will just execute the code from the RAM. So that will be faster.
Yeah, that will be faster and
Yeah.
easier.
So there was a
Right.
time in PHP 5.0 where the performance was a big no-no, but right now we are actually they are actually trying to upgrade the PHP for the performances as well.
Okay.
One more thing is coming, that is the union types. Like for example, there are many languages which are using the types, data types, right? PHP don't use it strictly, but you can use it. So we have
Okay.
union types coming in where the variables can be typed as multiple data types.
Okay.
So if you expect one variable to become a string, then they can also use it as an integer. So you can use both of the types in one variable. That is union type coming in PHP 8.0. All right.
That's good.
One more thing is the named arguments. Named arguments is like if one function have four parameters. So in our previous versions, right now as well, we have to take care of the order of the parameters. So if we send a parameter to a function, you have to take care that the order of the function. But named arguments will actually provide you to be flexible, and you can actually, instead of taking care of the order of the parameters, you can actually put the name of the parameter and write the value against it. So that is why you don't have to
That's really good.
yeah, that is why you can be flexible with your parameters as well. That is named arguments coming. This is the feature of PHP 8.0.
Perfect.
One more thing is coming, that is the match expression. Match expression is like a big brother to the switch statements. Everybody is watching, whoever is watching is related to programming must be knowing there is a switch case in a programming language, right? So PHP 8.0 is coming with a match expression, which will basically uh, work like a switch statement, but without the break. I know
Okay.
you'll be like, this is what are you talking about? But this is, I'm talking about for the people who know programming. All right. So this is one more feature coming in PHP 8.0. The businesses who are actually right now in the PHP 7 umbrella will be more. It will be more easier for them to upgrade on PHP 8.0. But the businesses which are still running PHP 5 umbrella, I think that will be a
They'll face more difficulty
yeah,
upgrading. Yeah.
because PHP 8.0 will be giving some breaking changes as well. For example, if you were having warnings in PHP 5.0, right now in PHP, if you upgrade your system to 8.0, the warnings won't be warnings anymore. It will be a proper error right now.
Yeah.
So it won't let you execute the code. So that is what's coming in PHP 8.0. There are many other features coming as well. So yeah, we all are excited.
Yeah. We all are excited, and most of our like viewers, people who would like to start their career as a developer, would like to know more about what sort of languages are there that they can learn, and what sort of projects do they should they expect from those languages.
Like for example, there are many languages. There are basically categories of languages. For example, if you want to do web development, you can use Node.js, you can do PHP, you can do JavaScript framework, ASP.NET. All right, there are these frameworks for web development.
Okay.
Then on the other side, if you want to do application management, that is for the desktops. You have C Sharp and other languages for that as well. If you want to do mobile development only, you have Android, and then you have Kotlin. Then you have to learn Swift. If you want to do native programming, if you want to do hybrid programming, hybrid programming means one code base, and one code base will give you the build for Android and iOS both. So we have React Native for that. That is another JavaScript framework. And then we have Flutter from Google. That is one more. So you have multiple languages, and every language have their own work in this industry. So if you stick to web development, I think PHP Node.js is mainly used for backend, and for front end we are using other frameworks for like React.js, Vue.js,
Hmm.
all right? So AngularJS. So we have this stuff as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. Now, if we talk about some attractive languages and some less attractive languages like PHP and some attractive languages like Java. So, when a PHP developer faces these cool JavaScript developers, how do they tackle that question when they talk about like Node.js versus PHP?
Okay.
So, how do they tackle these things?
This is interesting. This is very interesting because I work on both languages and I face this
Okay,
question every time that why should I use Node.js or why should I
okay,
use PHP? So I think using PHP and Node.js is on personal preference plus is on the requirement of the project as well. Like for
okay,
example, if you want to deal with real-time data and you want the responses to be real quick because the real users are being interacted with your application, I think you will go with Node.js. Now, let me just explain it to you. I'll be talking in some techie terms
yeah.
because in
We
Node,
have a tech audience over there.
right, so
They're looking at you.
in Node.js, Node.js works on single thread, but it is a asynchronous non-blocking IO. It uses non-blocking IO.
Okay.
Okay, and PHP is a multi-threaded. It uses multi-threads and it's a blocking IO. What does it mean? Let me give you a use case. For example, if you are at a restaurant and you have like five waiters that work for you, and you have 15 customers, all right? So every waiter is for you, every waiter is for every individual customer, right? It'll take the order, take that order to the kitchen, and then wait until it cooks. Once it's been cooked, then it will serve. So
Hmm.
until then, other customers will wait. But obviously, in Node.js, this is a single-threaded. Uh, works on single thread, but the thing is, it works on asynchronous. So
Hmm.
asynchronous means that whole code gets executed at one time. Whichever function returns quickly, it will just execute it. But synchronous programming is line by line execution. One line will wait for the other line to be executed.
Okay.
So that is how it works. So Node.js and PHP, it depends on your project, on your requirement. PHP is more cheaper than Node.js because you can get the PHP server anywhere. You can just run PHP on any server that have Apache.
Okay.
Node.js itself is a server, okay, and PHP requires Apache,
Hmm.
so it can run. PHP is more cheaper, and you can get more developers for PHP as compared to Node.js because PHP is too old, and I think the Node.js running
What is
on.
the need of the market right now? What do the industry needs?
It depends. If you're thinking to build an application that will be more like a panel
Hmm.
or a CRM, you'll use PHP for sure
Okay.
because I think PHP you'll be needing PHP for that. And if you want to make an application that's more real time, you'll your application will be interacted to the people who need to fetch data quickly, you'll go with Node.js because, as I told you, asynchronous programming versus synchronous programming. So asynchronous is more faster as compared to the synchronous programming.
Okay, yeah.
So
I
that is
get
how
it.
it goes.
So we have a question over here. There's Guru Mahmood Malik.
Yeah.
He's watching us right now.
I go.
So yeah. So he's asking that is React Native better or is PHP better?
React Native is a language used to build mobile applications, and
Okay.
PHP is a server-side language. So you can build in a mobile application which won't do anything dynamic, which will just be a mobile application that you can build on React Native.
Okay.
But if you want to deal with data and databases, and if you want your application to be dynamic, so you need PHP for that. So you can build your application on React Native, and you can build the APIs for your application on PHP. So that is how they both get connected.
Okay.
So the data, the work that has to be done on the data will be done by PHP, and your application will be built on React Native, and you can build your mobile application on React Native.
Perfect, perfect. So that was the answer, Guru Mahmood Malik. Okay. Now we'll start with the go with the our questions.
Yeah, sure.
So now we'll talk about your experience, your personal experience, so that people can have a personal touch.
Yeah.
How are they going to face the problems and what track they are going to move on?
Okay, so
Okay. Now, would you share your experience about your best projects and their difficulties and challenges? What problems you were facing and what solutions you gave to them? How was this all going on?
Okay, so at Cubix, we work on
Hmm.
like multiple projects at a time, and we obviously face some difficulties.
Okay,
That's not, I won't call it difficulties, I'll just call it challenges.
it's a challenge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
challenge. So, like for example, once we had an application which was having like near to 4 lakh users.
Hmm.
So once it was built, we had to optimize it. We have to optimize the queries. We have to optimize the database. We have to optimize our code base. So I think this is a process. We keep on doing it in the development phase. It's not like that you build an application and then done. You won't touch it ever. No,
Hmm.
that's not the case. You go and optimize it daily on the basis of the new challenges you
Hmm.
face as per your users in your database and your queries. So yeah, I have faced challenges, but we constantly we try to upgrade our code base, our
Hmm.
databases. We try to index them. Indexing is another topic,
Yeah.
so we won't be
We'll have
touching
another
that.
video on that also.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that is how it goes.
Yeah.
So my in my experience, I think development is a phase that keeps on going on. It
Hmm.
doesn't stop. Once you have your application live and people start using it, you need to optimize it and you need someone to maintain it, right? So it's not like a code is there and it's running for you. It
Hmm.
will be running for you,
Hmm.
but there will be a time when you'll actually want to optimize it on the database level or on the code base level. So that is
Hmm.
how the
Matlab, you're
development
you're
phase goes.
you're trying to say that you need to like keep on checking on the code, and you also need to upgrade it
Yeah,
when the time comes, or when the
obviously,
things get obsolete, or when there's a new trend in the industry.
obviously.
Yeah. Now, finally, finally, how was the experience at Cubic so far? How did you come over here, and how was the experience so far? How did you excel over here? What were the challenges? How did you learn? So, tell us about your experience at Cubix.
I started at Cubix as an intern. I
Okay,
was a PHP developer intern here.
okay.
I had good mentors. Let me tell you that because they they were there for me. I
Hmm.
learned many new things here. So it was a good experience as a whole. But I would really recommend to the people watching me who are trying to make their career in development that I also self learned,
Hmm.
right? So if someone comes to me and say I can't learn because I didn't get the opportunity,
Hmm.
this is not the case in
Yeah,
our
it's not
industry.
like that. Everyone gets an opportunity.
Yeah,
It's your job to grab the opportunity and move on.
obviously. So in our industry you can actually self learn,
Hmm.
and we have many online courses. You have YouTube videos. You can actually try and fail.
Yeah, actually, your field has so much data on the internet. Anyone can learn on the internet. And
Exactly.
I've also heard that people start learning right even before joining a college or a course or a project. They start learning from the internet.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
a skill based job, so you can actually polish your skills and
Hmm.
get the job done.
Yeah, right.
So but I think the study is there. You have to study for it, obviously. But I think with studying you need to get the exposure in our industry. You need to self learn. You need to get yourself updated every day, so you can know that what's going on in the industry, what's new, what's old, what's depreciated. So
Okay.
that is how it goes. So my experience at Cubix was amazing because I've got amazing mentors which are working with me. They actually let me do what I want to do. If I tell them that this is the new thing, I want to switch to it.
Hmm.
So they actually give me a go ahead, and this is how it
Yeah.
goes at
The
Cubix.
team is encouraging. They
Yeah, obviously.
encourage you. They teach you. Okay, that's good. That's good. This is the thing that everyone needs when they work or they learn at any place. So we have a question over here. It's Ozair Khan.
Yeah.
He's asking that can we migrate from PHP 5 to 8, and if some functions become depreciated, then what should we do?
Okay.
So it's your question, Uzair. So he'll answer. Yeah.
So migrating from PHP 5 to 8 is which will actually be a breaking change. Let me
Hmm.
tell you that because all the functions, I think, because I think you won't be able to upgrade to 7 as well so smoothly, because many of the functions in the PHP 7 version have been depreciated. But if it goes like that, you have your magic functions in PHP. You can actually do something for your application for that particular time. You can actually upgrade it and then do something to make it work. But obviously it will be a breaking change. It'll need time. You'll need to go in your code base depthly, and you'll actually need to change every function. with the new functions. So that'll how it'll go. You have magic functions as well in PHP.
Okay.
You can deal with them for upgrading. So yeah, that is how it goes.
Okay. Would you share some fun fact about PHP? A short one.
Um, I just there's a that is not a fun fact exactly, but I've actually seen the benchmarks when it goes like Node.js versus PHP.
Yeah,
So I've
it
seen
happens.
yeah. So PHP as compared to Node.js, if you talk about that, Node.js is way more faster than PHP. So when I saw that, I was literally amazed at how the Node.js is performing as compared to PHP.
Okay. There's a question. There's not a name.
Yeah.
It's from the facilitator,
Yeah.
PK.
Okay.
Okay. So he's asking how to secure open source code PHP 8.
Open source code PHP, I think once the code your code is open source, you don't need to secure it obviously, because it's there on the internet for anyone to get the code and do anything with it. But obviously open source code doesn't need to be secure. You need to actually implement security in your code level so that your application doesn't get misused. So yeah, you need to implement security on your code base. Obviously you don't need to implement security on PHP 8.0 code. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so that was more or less about our questions.
Yeah.
Now, if you would like to share some other information regarding the people who want to start their career in
Okay.
PHP or in developing any other language.
As I told you before, PHP, if you want to learn PHP as a beginner, you have many resources online. You can check them. You can do that. You can actually try and fail yourself. You can implement the code and execute it, and then it will fail. So that is how you can learn. You will obviously learn step by step, gradually. But I think programming, I know programming is a dry subject. But if you start doing it and it starts to work, I think that's magical. So you should consider learning yourself as well and study for it, study every day, learn every day, code every day, and then you'll learn PHP.
Yeah, at the end, if you keep on striving for it and if you keep on learning, initially you'll find it boring, but as you go on the road, it really is rewarding. The language is rewarding. It's really interesting, and you can do plenty of things from that. Okay, that's nice. This was our session so far, and we had a survey before the session. So we collected some questions from our colleagues and from our friends.
Okay.
So there are some questions we would like to ask. So they're watching you, and we'll answer those questions. Now the first question is how to start learning PHP as a beginner. मतलब, if a person doesn't know anything, he's not from the developing field. He doesn't know anything.
First of all, you need to actually learn the core concepts of programming. Leave PHP aside.
Okay.
Right? Learn the core concepts of PHP. Like I mean to say the loops, the conditions. So these are the core concepts or of any language. All right. Then you can actually try to learn PHP through online resources and get to know the syntax.
Okay.
So that is how you learn PHP. But before actually learning the PHP, you should learn programming, the core concepts of programming.
Yeah, right. You should have the basics to start, obviously. Okay. Now, we have a question over here. It's Haider Badshah Rizvi.
Yeah.
He's asking that, do you think with the advent of new languages, the new languages are coming in, PHP will soon be obsolete? Is that true?
I don't think so, but it will be used in other applications, but I think it will never obsolete. That is my opinion, because we have WordPress, we have so many CMS systems. That's Magento.
Why is that? Why would PHP get obsolete when the new languages are coming in? You have attractive languages.
It won't. Trust me.
What is that one thing that will want people to hold on to PHP and also to other languages?
There are many e-commerce businesses running on Magento, Shopify. These systems are built on PHP, right?
Okay.
So PHP won't die. Let me just tell you.
Okay.
Every year I get to listen that PHP is gonna die this year.
Yeah.
But no, it doesn't. We have Laravel, Symfony, so amazing frameworks of PHP that is making PHP a good programming language, right? As a whole. So it won't die. Many businesses rely on PHP nowadays. If you are a blogger, you'll rely on WordPress, obviously, because that is a quick process to make your own blog. If you are an online business, you rely on PHP because Magento, Shopify are pre-built e-commerce stores. So that is also built on PHP. So yeah, I don't think PHP is gonna go anywhere else soon.
Yeah, that's good. This is the strong point of PHP.
Yeah.
That businesses won't leave it, they need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And the second question is, I had a term, people were asking about this term, most of the people. So I ticked it, most important question, that what does MERN mean? MERN.
Mern is basically an abbreviation for Mongo. Mongo is the database.
Okay.
Express is the framework for the server-side language, right? And this is the Node.js. Node.js is the language for Mern. So that is a full
Yeah.
stack React as well in the R. So that is a full stack application abbreviation. That means if you use MongoDB for your database,
Hmm.
Express as a framework, um, the React as a front end, and then you have Node.js as a programming language that will handle your server-side data. So you have Mern for that.
Okay. Apart from the tech discussion,
Yeah.
how about come to the real fact?
Yeah.
How much does a PHP developer earn?
Let me tell
It's a
you this.
secret question. You don't need to reveal your
And I'm
earnings,
I'm not
but
at all
you
revealing
can
my
tell about
salary.
the
No,
industry
I'm not
earning.
at all doing that. But a developer nowadays, because we just had a pandemic, that was the COVID, right?
Yeah.
Every
The question was from Ayaz Hussain.
Okay.
So
So
just remind.
yeah. So this we just had COVID, right?
Yeah.
Everything was shutting down, but the only
Yeah.
thing that was running was our industry, right?
Yeah.
Everyone is going
Absolutely.
online. Everyone is going online. They need the softwares. They need the systems that will actually entertain people online. So as far as the salary is concerned, the earning is concerned, it is a pretty handsome salary. You will get a handsome salary.
Yeah.
And one more thing, you can actually freelance. So that's another thing. You can actually
Yeah, that's
develop.
another opportunity.
Yeah.
You can work on in a job also, you can freelance also. And the best part about this field is that it's a completely sustainable field.
Yeah.
No matter
It
how
have no
much, how
boundaries
big
to
a
it.
lockdown you're facing, what bigger pandemic you're facing, you'll always have online website working on, you'll always have e-commerce working on, you'll always have Google working on,
Yeah.
and Facebook working on. So these websites rely on languages. And
Yeah.
for those languages, we need developers. So this is a sustainable field.
The only
Yeah.
thing you need is a laptop and the
Yeah,
internet.
a laptop and an internet would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay, the next question is that how can I become a full stack developer?
A full stack developer is someone who can actually build the front end and the back end, right? So if you learn a
If you
language,
could tell our beginners what is front end and back end.
I told it before as well. There are some languages just like React Native, React.js, Vue.js. They all are front end frameworks, and the PHP, JavaScript, Node.js, Java Spring framework. These all are handling back end side of any application. So if I know PHP and React Native, so I can actually build the mobile application and I can connect it with my PHP, which will handle all the stuff that will be taken care in the backend. So that is how I become a full stack developer. If I want to be a web full stack developer, so that for that I need to learn React.js or any JavaScript framework. I learn that, and any backend language, and I can connect my application with the backend language, and magic done. I'm a full stack developer.
Yeah, that was really interesting. Now, which language should I learn to start my career? This was a question from a beginner. He was like pretty motivated to start his career.
Mhm.
So he wanted to know that industry is changing. We have new languages coming in. We have increasing demands with the new we have like innovative demands coming in. So you need a problem solving language. You need a language which can stand new ideas, which can support startups. So what sort of language should a new beginner learn?
Okay. As far as the learning of PHP is concerned, PHP is an easy language to learn because it is not strict. So you don't have to take care of the data types when you're writing PHP. You can do anything in PHP as far as the web is concerned. So I think there is no specific language you should learn if you want to start your career. If you're actually getting a job, if for example, if you're getting a job for a Java developer, if someone is hiring you as an intern as a Java developer, you should learn Java. You should actually learn the programming. Once you know the programming, you can actually switch to any programming language. So you should know programming. Once you know programming, the core concepts of programming, and then you switch to another language, I think that's more easier for you. You should start with any language you like.
Okay,
you
okay.
you should have a problem with you, and you should know that how this language will actually solve my problem.
Okay,
That's it.
what would be your opinion, your personal opinion about a language which could support new ideas, which could support innovation, which could support
Any language. There is no specific language
any
for that.
language,
Any language can do
any
that.
language you do?
Yeah, because they all talk to computer, right?
Yeah, yeah,
In
right,
the end, we
right.
have to talk to the computer, and we need to make the computer do the stuff for us. So any
Okay.
language will do that, obviously. But if you are there are, as I told you, there are domains for that. If you want to work on web, there are languages that work on web. If you want to work on desktop, there are languages which support desktop building desktop applications.
Hmm.
If you want to build mobile applications, you have different languages for that.
So you have
So
different languages for different purposes.
exactly. So you need to know your problem first, then you will move to the solution.
Yeah,
So
right,
if my
right.
problem is a mobile application, I need to build a mobile application for something. I'll actually switch to the languages which can help me make a mobile application.
Yeah, right, right, right. Now the last question,
Yeah.
but we'll have hopefully we'll have more questions in the comment section.
Yeah.
It's that which language should I rely on for my e-commerce business? Now there were
Uh,
some people over there, they run their e-commerce businesses, so they were asking that what is the more supporting language for that business?
it depends. Like for example, if I have a small online shop, which is like I'm selling bags, only bags, and I know that I'll be getting like 500 requests per day,
Hmm.
400 requests per day, I think PHP is good to go.
PHP is good for that.
Yeah, but if I have an online store just like Amazon,
Hmm.
if I have an online store like Alibaba,
Like Alibaba,
yeah,
AliExpress, you're talking about big giants
yeah,
over here. Yeah.
then these kind of application doesn't rely on one language as a
Hmm.
whole. They actually separate their modules. If they want to make a module, they can actually make this module on Node.js and other module on PHP.
Hmm.
Right now I'm touching a concept that is for like microservices. That's another topic, but this question is very general.
Hmm.
So you should rely on your if you want to rely on a language, you can't rely on a language. You can actually rely on your architecture first. So if
Okay.
you have a good architecture for your application, I think any language would work.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. Understandable. Now, there was a question that a person was asking that should I learn database along with PHP? Is it necessary? Do they
Okay.
go hand in hand?
Okay. So PHP works like this, that it only remembers the single request. Once the request has been responded, it actually forgets. Okay, this is server-side language. So if you want your data to be there,
Hmm.
and if you want your language to actually remember the data, you need database.
Yeah.
If
Right.
you're talking about PHP right now, I think MySQL is the way to go with PHP because they both support each other amazingly. So PHP and MySQL goes side by side, so you can actually learn MySQL with PHP. And right now we have so many ORMs, so many actually classes written on PHP which will handle database for you as well. You just need to call that functions. So I
Okay.
think you should obviously learn databases with PHP, but if you want to start quickly, you can actually go with ORMs.
All right. Okay. Okay. We have a question over here. We have Bilal Nakwi asking that could you please help me understand what's PHP and JIT?
Okay, JIT will be a compiler which will be used by
You can wait. I'm cutting you. I request you guys to send in your questions, whatever you want to ask. Then it doesn't matter how simple your question is, how irrelevant your question is. You ask your question and we'll answer it. Okay? Yeah.
Okay, so JIT is basically a technique which will actually compile parts of the code
Okay.
at runtime
Hmm.
so that the compiled version can be used instead, because PHP is gonna be interpreted and then compiled to the machine code, because that is the stuff that CPU understands. All right.
Yeah.
So JIT is a technique that will actually compile your code. As I told you before, that it will keep that code as a hot code, which will be in the RAM instead, and it will be used there. So that is how it will affect the I must say the affect the response time of the application, because the RAM is more faster. So that is how the JITs will work. It is basically a technique.
Okay, okay. So that was your answer, Bilal Nakwi. I hope you got your answer. So these are our questions, and we would like to thank our audience to be here or being here with us. And it was really nice having you, Subhan.
I
And
love talking.
we'll call you again,
Sure.
inshallah, in another session, another topic. And until then, uh, Allah Hafiz. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.